I am. What up, Sean? How's it going, HR? How's it going, everyone? How are you guys doing on this fine Saturday night? I went to my comic shop. I actually had some comics to pick up today. Got Emerald City Comic Con next weekend, which should be fun. And it's also my first. Sorry, not my first. It's also the first time Emerald City Comic Con will be at a different convention center, so that'll be cool. What's up? So my thoughts on Superman #1. We'll talk about it. Superman #1, right here. I thought the art was great from Jamal Campbell. I thought he does a really good job with like conveying like energy. Like his art's very energetic. This is like, I've seen some of his art before, but I've never read actually a book that he's done, and he did a great job. I really like the way he draws Lois too. I think like that was my favorite part, was the way he draws Lois. I thought he drew a really good Lois. Story's pretty good. I'm excited to see what he does with Parasite. I liked a little bit on the roof with Clark and Lois, and then Jimmy just comes up. I really like that bit. I need to reread the like Superman special they did that set up all this stuff, because the whole bit with Lex, I completely forgot all about that, because I thought the stuff with Lex was like whatever. How's it going, Xavier? Big Fat Bot, Valiant Man, Svrog. Have you read the new Wakanda comic series? Nope. Favorite place for Superman vids? Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate that. But yeah, I thought Superman #1 was pretty good. I'm excited about it. I'm glad we got another Superman book, and I thought it was good. I really like this bit at the end, the setup for the next bit where it's like all this tease. I thought that was really cool.
Officer Bowles.
Oh man, 24 months. Thanks, Donovan. Appreciate it. Not even playing Fortnite with the boys. L. Man, the size of the different emotes has me dying every time. But yeah, a sneeze just hit me and it hasn't come out yet, so I'm like, just hit my nose. I liked it though, but like I said, I need to reread, because I thought it was cool how like they talked about how Clark just keeps an eye on Lex at all times, and Lex knows that, so Lex is just talking. He's like, I know Superman's listening, so he's just talking to him. Because when they did that like Superman special where they had Joshua Williamson, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Tom Taylor, and I think a couple other people like all do like a Superman story, it wasn't that great, but they set up some stuff for the future. And I remember there was that whole thing with Lex, and that was when his secret identity got restored and stuff, and there was like some stupid stuff in that issue. But yeah, so they're continuing off from that, and it seems interesting because Lex is being targeted. We get Brainiac at the end. We also get stuff that's going on with Parasite and also Bizarro. So there's a lot. There's a lot. I think it's good though. I like it. I'm excited to see what happens. And you got the whole Mercy telling Superman like, "Hey, we've trained, like Lex has given the company to you." And Superman's like, "Yeah, I don't want it." And it's like, "Well, if you don't take it, everyone's fired." I like that bit. It's like, you know, everyone's like freaking thousands of people's livelihoods are on the line depending on if you take it. Also, the bit where Lex created a hologram like Jor-El for himself to talk to Cal was great. That's such an asshole move from Lex to do that. I love that. One part I thought was dumb though was where like the end when he's fighting Parasite, and then Parasite like turns into all the little parasites, and Superman kind of stares at him and gets tackled by him. Like this seasoned of a Superman just kind of staring at a bunch of parasites and be like, I shouldn't keep my distance or move, felt kind of dumb. But other than that, I liked it. I thought it was a good first issue. I'm excited to see what goes from here. This might... You're not really late, as I've been live for like 2 minutes. But what up, Logan? How's it going, Gundam? The tease that reminds me of the tease Jeff Johns used to do with GL and Aquaman. Can we get a Superman event? We're definitely going to be getting Superman events with these books. But, I'm so tired of events, though, dude. I don't want any more events. But what was I about to say? I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're talking about Williams Superman right now. I picked up several books, so I haven't read all of them, but this is right now I have the stack that I read. And yeah, Superman #1 was good. I'm glad that we have 2 Superman books now. This could potentially become my favorite Superman book because I love Action Comics, but the problem is that first issue of Action Comics, since like the sort of like new era of Superman, was so stuffed to the brim with characters. I hope they do a better... Like, I thought the first issue was good. you check out Jeremy Adams' Flash? Yes, I just got this. So yes, I've read some issues here and there of it. So I finally decided to pick up just the Return of Wally West, because I've read some issues of Jeremy Adams Flash, and I'm like, this is really good. So I finally picked up the Return of Wally West. So yeah, what was I gonna say? I completely lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah, Action Comics. Action Comics was pretty. I liked it, but I can easily see. My fear is Superman's going to become a guest character in his own comic, because it's like, we got Superboy, we got multiple Superman, because John's Superman. We've got Supergirl, we've got Steel, we've got 15 billion characters in this book, and everyone needs their 15 minutes of fame, or everyone needs their couple panels, everyone needs their few pages. So that's why I'm happy we have this Superman book, because if Action Comics does become overcrowded and Superman does become a guest star in his own book, which I hope doesn't happen, because I think Philip K. Johnson is a fantastic writer, and I love what he's done with Superman so far, at least I got this to fall back on. That was always what I loved about having two Superman books. Because if Action, written by two different people, because if Action Comics wasn't your thing, then you could go to Superman and vice versa. That's why I hated when Bendis took over both of them, because it's like, well, you're SOL. And that's also why when they're both good, it's awesome. Like when Dan Jurgens was doing Action Comics and Peter Tomasi was doing Superman. It was like, oh wow, we have two amazing books that operate completely differently. What do you think about James Gunn DCU slate? I did a video on it. I'm trying to be optimistic. I think some things are a little stupid. Like, I think having video games, like, tie into everything. Like, having video games and anime shows and everything tying together is not the best idea. Like, you could do TV shows and movies and even animated stuff. But I think having video games as well is really stupid. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I hope they do a good job with it. A lot set for Superman. The character interactions are great. Interested to see where it goes. Yeah, that's how I feel. Saw the first issue. The only problem I have is the portrayal of Lois and that really good. And look for. I thought the portrayal of Lois was done pretty well. I like how she's like kind of overwhelmed by taking over Perry White's position, and she does have some bravado that she's trying to be like, hey, just because I was one of you doesn't mean I'm gonna go easy. And then to Clark, she's like, this is a lot. So yeah, I thought Lois was good in it. Clark worked for Lois. For Norm, what are your opinion about Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern? That movie sucks, but Ryan Reynolds was good as Hal, and Mark Strong was good as Sinestro. I will say that, but the rest of that movie, not good. Also, it gave us Taika Waititi out of nowhere. Arguably the worst thing to come out of Green Lantern was Taika Waititi. Any opinion on Backup Story by Dan Jurgens? Oh, it was great. That was maybe my favorite part of the New Action Comics issue. I tweeted about it. How I thought that backup story is really good. What's up, Captain Michael Studios? Jamal Campbell's art is so good. Yeah, it's like I was saying at the beginning of the stream. Jamal Campbell does a fantastic job of like how energetic his art is. Like it's very moving and energetic. I love it. Everything's also very like big and bombastic. I like it a lot. I'm really hoping the return of some OG Superman villains in the new book, Cyborg Superman. So, oh, we're definitely gonna get that. We already got Parasite and Brainiac and Bizarro. So yeah, we've already got a bunch. Did you hear G.I. Joe comics are going to Power Comics? Yeah, I heard about that. I know nothing about Power Comics, but IDW's been just crapping the bed with G.I. Joe for the past like, I don't know, maybe the past decade at this point. Yeah, about not quite the past decade, but yeah, past like 7 years or so. So. Also, there's apparently a Snake Eyes, like a AAA Snake Eyes game in development. I heard a rumor about like months ago. Like GameSpot reported on it, which GameSpot's legit. It wasn't like some like random place. So that'll be interesting. I hope we get that. What if Action and Detective Comics on the entire Bat family, Superman, as well as Batman, Superman occasionally, while they also have their own series? Like that can work, but the thing is, like, Action Comics was already set as a Clark-centric book, like, prior to this new age happening, and it was so good. I wish if they wanted to do a Super Family book, they just did a separate book. Batman has 5 billion books. Give Superman one more if you want to showcase the Super Fam. That's all I'm saying. Because Philip K. Johnson was doing so good at focusing on Clark and Action Comics. And I love the Superman family. Those characters are great, but I don't want them to take away from what we have in Action Comics, you know? To ask you last night if you picked up Swamp Thing Green. Yes, I picked it up today. Swamp Thing Green Hell #2. It was really good. And also, I guess like spoilers if you haven't read Swamp Thing Green Hell #2. It connects to Jeff Lemire's Animal Man at the end, which makes me really want to read the rest of his Animal Man. I read the first arc of his Animal Man, and it was really good. But then they came out with an omnibus, and I was like, I need to pick up the omnibus, and I have not gotten around to it. I think it's like $60 or something like that on Amazon right now. I might get it because the first arc of his Animal Man was amazing, and this kind of ties into that a little bit at the end. This was really good, by the way. I guess we can talk about this, but I'm gonna get to some more comments before I start talking about that. I hope we get some new villains this remake. I'm not really interested in the same old ones. I think at the beginning, I think Williamson's trying to like just go through some of the classics first, and then he'll probably be introducing people. But I'm down for new villains, but also I like going through like the classic villains as well, because the problem is when you have new villains, you get people like James Tynion, who's like, I'm going to introduce as many new characters as I can before I get off this book, so that way if they ever get adapted in a TV show or movie, I get money. And I can leave my legacy on the character. So when James Tynion was on Batman, he introduced like 500 new characters, and like all of them suck ass. And like I would much prefer Williamson to just retread through the classic villains instead of like introducing a bunch of new characters Tynion style. Why do you think DC can't DH John Kent, Superboy back to normal? Because I miss him. They won't, because they're too in deep right now. Like everything they've done with his character, it's everything that Tom Taylor essentially has done has made it to where they won't, because you can't just be like, hey, here's this guy and his big, because right now the biggest thing about him is his sexuality. That's what Tom Taylor turned him into, is his sexuality is who he is. Like, he's not bigger than that anymore. And so you can't just like DH that. That's why. It's stupid, but that's how it is right now. If you did it, you'd have to have a big reboot to do it. But with however, and also they were like dead set on being like, this is the new Superman. He goes by Superman now. He's not Superboy, which is really just dumb. Super excited for the Jeremy Adams Hal Jordan book. He's one of the best writers DC currently. I agree. I'm really excited for his Hal Jordan book. I'm so excited because we're originally as Mariko Tamaki on that. It was like, who cares about Mariko Tamaki and Hal Jordan? Why is she getting this? And then thankfully they scrapped her and brought in Jeremy Irons. It's like, yes. I hate the Superman family jackets. They look stupid. I agree. I 100% agree with that. I don't get why. Superboy should have the jacket. I like Superboy with the jacket. I like his 90s design. I think that's cool. But yeah, everyone else having the jacket, like Supergirl's got a jacket now and stuff. I don't understand that. I think that was stupid. I agree with that. And this, ugh. Who's your favorite Green Lantern? Hal Jordan. Why didn't you like Wakanda Forever? I did a whole podcast on why I didn't like it. Linked in the description if you want to listen to it. I can even. Let's see right here. Boop, boop. Right here on Spotify and on Podbean. If you want to listen to me rant about why I didn't like Wakanda Forever, you can listen to this. It's pretty long. So there you go. If you want to listen to why I didn't like Wakanda Forever, 1 hour and 15 minutes. So there's your answer. Miracle Molly and Ghostmaker, yeah. And remember the kid with the bat who didn't like Joker? Ooh, what a great character. I'm really excited for Superman comics right now. Batman comics are kind of slacking currently. Yeah, I'm not caught up on Batman because I thought the robot was just super dumb. I really like the way Zdarsky writes Bruce and Tim. I thought he did a good job there. But my god, was the villain just so stupid and I didn't care about the plot. Here's this big robot that Batman made that no one could stop except for Batman. I was like, this is just a dumbass plot. This is stupid. I didn't care, but the interaction between Bruce and Tim were great. Some of the best we've had in like years, honestly, because Tim's kind of been put to the wayside until they made him bi, and now they're like, that's his whole thing. But yeah, I agree. Detective Comics, I'm behind on as well. I very much got Batman fatigue and stopped reading a lot of Batman because I just didn't care. But I read the first couple issues of Ram V's Detective Comics and I liked it. I don't know if it's fallen off since then, but like the first 2 or 3 issues I liked. This might be a bit controversial, but I absolutely hate the e-girl design for Harley Quinn for Suicide Squad 2016. The light blue and pink hair just looks... I agree. Her animated series design is the best. They have not gotten better than that. Like, her animated series design is the best. The black and red and white is so good. Like, I don't get why they've gone so far away from that. It looks stupid. What's up, Sean? John, I think, is going to the Injustice universe. Why? Because Tom Taylor wrote the Injustice universe in the comics, and that's why he's going there. It's literally the only reason. What about having this teenage John Kent be an imposter from Earth 3? I've talked about that. I would love if they do that. They won't do it because you can't have a bi guy be evil. I don't make the rules, but that's how it works. Have you played Batman Arkham games? Yeah, a lot. There's various videos on this channel of me playing them. I've played through them so many times. I just, during Christmas, I played through, Arkham Origins. Did the, Eye of the Night mode where I can't die. Can't we say that the John Kent we have as a clone, the real John Kent, is in stasis? You could, but they won't do that again because of everything he's gone through. Listen, there's a billion different ways you can restore John Kent, but DC won't do it. We need Superman video games. I wish, but DC is dead set on making the Suicide Squad a thing. That's what I understand. I got a lot of comments on my video that I made talking about the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad killed the Justice League game. People are like, they're only doing this because the Suicide Squad's popular. Blah, blah. It's like the Suicide Squad's not popular. They're not. They've been trying to make them popular, but they're not. I've been talking about this for like, I don't know, like 6 years at this point. Like since the 2016 Suicide Squad, or even before that, really. Yeah, before that, actually. I've been talking about it. Like, I don't know why DC tries to make the Suicide Squad a thing. The John Ostrander comics are really good. Like, they are really good. John Ostrander wrote some great Suicide Squad comics. But aside from that, the Suicide Squad sucks. And for some reason, DC wants them to be a thing. I don't know why. Like, at the end of Arkham Origins, they teased them. They gave them their own movie. They gave them their own, they gave them their own animated movie. They've had them a part of big comic book arcs. They gave them their own video game. Why? They're not, like, they keep being, who at DC is like, we gotta push the Suicide Squad? They're not popular. Harley Quinn is the only popular character in the Suicide Squad. I love Deadshot. He is not popular whatsoever. Captain Boomerang's a great character. He's not popular whatsoever. The only popular one is Harley Quinn. Why do they keep pushing the Suicide Squad? And also, something that really annoys me is the intrigue of the Suicide Squad is they're bad people that are made to do good things. But but every time someone writes them, it's like, actually, they have hearts of gold. And it's like, you're taking away what's intriguing about them. Stop. Stop doing that. That's my Suicide Squad rant. I don't get it. Do I buy Gotham Knights for the meme? If it's on sale and you have a friend to play with, yes. Otherwise, no. But yeah, if it's on sale and you have a friend to play with, you could have some fun. But if it's not on sale and you're just going to play it by yourself, don't bother. Why are they stopping the jail? Where they're Titans, JSN, everything? That's exactly what I said in my video. I said the roster they chose in the Suicide Squad Kill Justice League game are the last people you would have to fight the Justice League. It's like, where's everyone else? I was like, I get it. Other people probably died, got taken over, hurt, whatever. But there has to be, there's so many characters in the DC Universe. You would never choose these idiots to go fight the Justice League. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, failsafe sucked. Do you think Glenn Powell should play Hal Jordan Lantern? You might know him for that. Yeah, I think Glenn Powell would do a good job. I'd be down. Opinions on Josh Williams' Superman. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream. I like it. I thought it was a good first issue. You do a time travel thing and bring young John back and send old John to the future. You could, but they won't do it because young John can't have sexual relations with men, and that's what Tom Taylor wants to do. The latest Suicide Squad run was pretty cool. I did not read it. I will say this. I just hate... Oh, man, all the stuff they've done with the Suicide Squad is... What do you think of Batfleck's new suit in the Flash? I'm kind of mid on it because they removed underpants. I thought from what I saw it looked good. We never got like a super good like shot of it, but from what I saw it looked good. But man, Batman v Superman, I think that movie's garbage, but it has the best Batman suit we've ever had on the big screen. If they could come close cinematically to the Batman District fight and the shipping containers for the game, it'd be a winner. I agree, that'd be really cool. Suicide Squad is DC Spider-Verse Miles Morales. Suicide Squad should just be an HBO series. I mean, it could be an HBO series, but I wouldn't say it's their Spider-Verse Miles Morales. No. I think Suicide Squad's more stems out of like, hey, remember how Guardians of the Galaxy was a hit? We need something like that. Hey, Suicide Squad. I think that's what as far as trying to make them big was when, that's what I think. The Suicide Squad was pretty good. I agree. The James Gunn Suicide Squad movie was actually really good. I liked it. I thought the ending was dumb. Like, the whole fight with Starro and them being good guys and saving the island was really stupid. But other than that, I did like that movie. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, Suicide Squad is about a group of criminals who drop a hat would betray one another. This is why I like the original idea too. Exactly. John Ostrander's Suicide Squad is great, but instead, like, that was my problem with the Suicide Squad movie. Like I said, I really liked it. The James Gunn one, the first Suicide Squad movie is horrible. The James Gunn one I actually thought was pretty good. I liked it a lot, but the ending I thought was stupid because it's like, oh, we're going to do the morally right thing, and it's like, that's not what's interesting about the Suicide Squad. They shouldn't be doing this. Also, man, talk about just butchering Bloodsport. Should have just made him an original character. Tom Taylor should stay with Elseworlds. Definitely. DCeased War of the Undead Gods has been really good. His entirety on DCeased, it feels like the guy that writes Nightwing and the guy that writes DCeased are two completely separate people. Like, completely separate. Like, Tom Taylor, I don't know. The Bug-Eyed Chicken Faller. Well, it's played by her, so they just did her, her model's based on her, so that's why she looks like the chick from Fallen Order. Why does this music feel so much louder? I hate I can't use Lakey Inspired anymore because I think he got a record deal, which good for him, but I get copyright anytime I use it now. The more and more I think about it, the more I kind of want Glennis Booster, even though I think he is perfect out. We'll see who they go with. This Suicide Squad game is confirmed to be Kevin Conroy's last front. I know. It's really sad. Take Suicide back to its roots. Only put C and B listers in and have them be villains and anyone can die. I agree. But the thing is, aside from Harley, most of them are still C and B listers. Like, these guys aren't, like, popular characters. Like I was saying. Like, Harley's the only popular one. Bloodsport was pretty much Deadshot in that movie. Basically. Alright, we got some other comics to talk about. We can talk about Green Hell issue 2. Green Hell issue 1 came out 50 years ago, and we finally got issue 2 this week. I enjoyed issue 2. It was good. I don't know what the holdup was. I don't know if Doug Mankey needed longer on the pencils. I don't know if they had trouble because Jeff Lemire, like, signed an exclusive thing with Image in between issue 1 and 2, and that's what they're having trouble with. I don't know what it was. But we finally got issue 2. It's really good. If you don't know, it's set way in the future. Like, all of humanity's died except for, like, these people on this island. And the Green has decided to kill those people because it's like, hey, you know, the Earth has, like, the sea has risen. Like, the ice caps have melted. The Earth is, like, it's a crap show because of humans and what has happened. So the Green is like, hey, we're gonna kill these humans. So they send this other, like, sort of version of Swamp Thing to go kill him, and John Constantine calls Swamp Thing, gets him there to help defeat it, and he does, and then a lot of other things happen this issue, and it's really good. It's really interesting, and I think it's only 3 issues, I believe. This is issue 2, so I think we have 1 more, and it's the magazine size, and Doug Mankey's art looks great, and yeah. It's really good. If you haven't read it, first 2 issues are out now. Definitely recommend it. Issue 2 was really good. And yeah, I just can't wait to see how issue 3 is. And again, like I said earlier, it ties into a little bit Jeff Lemire's Animal Man run for the New 52. So I might, in between 2 and 3, I might just get the omnibus for that because I've only read the first arc and read all of that before issue 3. So yeah, Green Hell issue 2 is a highly recommended from me if you have not read it. Boom. Video games would be canned and used as... Yeah, Constantine's running around being a dickhead in this. It's great. It's great what Constantine's doing. Because, Swamp Thing is, like, in this other... I don't know, like, in this other realm or whatever, with, like, the spirit of his child and his girl. And he's just, like, living his best life. He's like, this is great. And then he gets summoned by Constantine. He's like, Constantine, you asshole, what are you doing? And Constantine's like, well, the Green sent someone to kill the last of humanity, and you're the only one that can really help right now. We need you. And so he does. And also, something that happened this issue. Again, spoilers if you haven't read it. Spoilers, again, if you have not read this. The Green rejects the... What are they called? Not the Council. I can't remember what they're called. They have some name for them. But they take away... they say, Swamp Thing, you are like... This is your last life now. We will no longer regenerate you. You're done. And so Swamp Thing now has, like, his final stand. Issue 3 is going to be, like, his final stand. We'll see if he lives or not. Because, again, it's Black Label, so it's Elseworld. So he could actually die in Issue 3. And it's really interesting. It adds some more stakes. And it's, yeah, Issue 2 is really good. Why are people hating on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? I don't know if you saw my video, but that explains it. Essentially, it's a lot of dumb decisions. The gameplay doesn't look very good. The story looks really just stupid. The characters are not themselves. It doesn't make sense why they chose this cast of characters and have them play completely differently. It takes place in the Arkhamverse, which makes no sense. It also takes away from the ending of Arkham Knight and what happened with the Nightfall Protocol. It looks like a cash grab in a lot of aspects as well, with a battle pass and doing like the whole RPG elements of you have different gear that has blah blah blah. There's a lot of reasons people are not liking Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that game is amazing. I want that game to be good. But I'm not going to just, like, look at something that looks like garbage and say, hey, guys, be optimistic. It looks all right. No, I'm going to call it how I see it. So, yeah. That's why. Are you excited for Jeremy Adams now writing Hal Jordan Green Lantern? Yes, I am. I'm really excited to see what he does. What's your thoughts on Batman vs. Robin, the movie? It's awesome. That movie sucks dick. It is horrible. Glad you like it, though. Also, apparently, Justice League are supposed to... Well, yeah. Regardless of people hating on buying it, that's good for you. All right. So yeah, these two are recommend for me. Superman #1, Swamp Thing, Green Hell #2, highly recommend. DCeased, War of the Undead Gods, issue #6. We have 2 more issues left. Again, this has been like, I don't understand how Tom Taylor is horrible at writing Nightwing. Like each issue is a snore fest. The plot moves like a like half an inch at a time, and he has Nightwing do the dumbest stuff of all time every issue, where it's like, whoa, don't you want to see how good of a guy Nightwing is? He helped homeless children in this issue, and then he helped an old lady cross the street in this issue, and isn't this great? It's like, no, stop it. Like, I want to see him do interesting things. Not every single issue he's done some mundane, like, task. But DCeased, he's fantastic. DCeased is great. The ending of this issue, alright. So Mr. Mxyzptlk at the end of issue 5 got infected by the anti-life equation, and he starts fighting the Spectre. They have a big fight. Mxyzptlk's getting the best of him. Then Superman comes and helps the Spectre, hits Mxyzptlk, and the Spectre's able to defeat Mxyzptlk. But Mxyzptlk's dying like stroke, he's able to rip out the host of the Spectre. So the Spectre and the host go separate ways. Host dies, and the Spectre's just free out. Then at the end of the issue, something happens. They're on, I think they went back to Earth, if I remember. They went back to Earth, and there's all these infected, like the infected New Gods are attacking, and like everyone's getting attacked. Leslie Tompkins, you know, the woman that has helped young Bruce Wayne, had been instrumental in helping Bruce and the Bat family. She's there with Alfred and Damian Wayne, and this is, you know, in the future, so Damian Wayne's grown up and he's Batman now, because everyone in the Bat family has died except for Damian and Alfred. I don't think anyone else may. I think it's only them two. And he's there, and Leslie Tompkins gets attacked and she gets infected, and Alfred just he can't believe what's going on, and so then Damian starts fighting the New Gods. And he gets hit, and it looks like Damian's about to die. Alfred just lets out this scream. It's portrayed so well. They talk about all the rage he's gone through, because he had to kill Nightwing, Batman, and I think Tim. I think he had to kill them, if I remember, in the first DCeased. He had to kill all 3 of them. And so he had to kill all 3 of them, and he's had all this rage and everything. He lets out this big scream, and then the Spectre comes, and Alfred's the Spectre's new host, and he starts fighting the New Gods, and that's where it ends, and he saves Damian. He's like, I'm not gonna bury another son. It's like, yes! The end of this issue was so cool. Like, I thought it was a good issue, and then the ending happened. I was like, holy crap, that's really cool. So Alfred has had a lot of pent-up rage, and now he's the new Spectre. He is vengeance. I thought that was really cool. I think Tom Taylor has an evil clone that writes his political comics. Maybe. Taylor and Nightwing compared to the Taylor on DCeased is kind of 80s Frank Miller versus modern day Frank Miller. Feels like completely different people. You're not wrong. Mirror Universe Tom Taylor writes War of the Undead Gods. Maybe it's the editors on the books. That could have something to do with it. I think it's probably does have something to do with editors, and I think it also has something to do with, like, Tom Taylor sees this as, oh, this is just big, fun comic book, like Elseworlds DC Zombies. And so he's like, yeah. And then on Nightwing, he's like, this is an important book to talk about, like, billionaires and politics, and, like, it's like, no. It's not. Like, I think that's why. I think Tom Taylor's like, Nightwing's my chance to make a statement, to where he's like, this is just Elseworlds zombie fun. And I think he's in two different mindsets. That's what I think. So, yeah. How is Alfred still alive in the future? He survived a lot. So, yeah, but it's been DCeased. I highly recommend DCeased. This is the third book of DCeased. Like, we had DCeased, we have I don't remember what the second one was called, and now we're on War of the Undead Gods. What's up, Rohit? I hope I pronounced your name right. I know everyone hated the real Knights of Steel, but I thought this twist was decent. Why does he write terrible John Kent Superboy nonsense? He's just bad, dude. Again, because I think with John Kent Superboy, I think it's another, like, this is the new Superman. I have a chance to make a difference and write something that matters. And so that's why he does that. So yeah, I would say all three of these DC books I picked up are definitely a recommend. I think all three of these were good. Superman #1, DCeased, War of the Undead Gods #6, and then Swamp Thing Green Hell #2. Then we have, from Boom Studios, TMNT and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover. Issue 3 just came out. I've read the first 3 issues. This is the second crossover. They did one before. This is so good. I didn't read the first crossover. I picked this up because I saw that Dan Mora was doing the art, and I was like, oh, I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is my favorite Power Rangers. Let's try it out. Holy crap, it's so good. It is written really well. And of course, the art's amazing because it's Dan Mora, which is really cool because generally, outside of Marvel and DC, you only get creator-owned books with good artists, but you don't get, like IDW or, like, Boom, generally, when they have, like, these bigger IPs, they generally can't get good artists on them. But they got Dan Mora for this, and he's fantastic. He's one of the best in the industry right now. And he draws the Rangers and the TMNT so well, dude. And it's written amazing. It's literally just written like a better version of the shows you remember from when you were a kid. It's literally just like a better version of that. It still has the campiness and the fun, and it's really cool. And in issue 2, Shredder is helping the Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers because, all right, so there's a lot going on. So Rita Repulsa is helping like lead this attack on Earth with, like, Dimension X, and they're attacking, and the Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are the only ones that can help, that are the only ones that can stop them. And Shredder is mad because he was originally supposed to be leading, like, the aliens from Dimension X to take over the world and lead, but then he was told by Krang that he wasn't strong enough to do it, and so they chose Rita. So now Shredder's pissed, and he's working with the Ninja Turtles and the Rangers to help fight them off and keep Earth alive because they're going to destroy Earth. He's like, I don't want them to do that. I want to rule Earth. So I love it. It's great. And also you have in part of this an issue, I can't remember if it was at the end of issue 1 or if it was in issue 2. I think it was at the end of issue 1. Casey Jones is revealed to be Ranger X, and he had betrayed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to work for Rita. And in this issue, they're like, oh man, you know, Rita originally had mind-controlled Tommy when he first showed up, and she mind-controlled him by enchanting, like, something that was really close to him. So they think, oh, she must have enchanted Casey's hockey stick. So they're fighting, they destroy his hockey stick, and Raph's like, you're back now, right? And he's like, no, you dumbass, and he keeps beating up Raph. And then later it's revealed that Casey Jones, when he got captured in the first issue, he was tortured, and he was shown what they were going to do with their invasion of Earth, and he realized he couldn't stop them, and he's like, we had been on the defense this whole time, it's time to go on the offense. So he decided to be a double agent, essentially. And it's really cool seeing Casey Jones take initiative like that and pretend to work for Rita and Krang, but he's actually being like the man on the inside. And it's written so well, dude. I can't believe it. Like, now this really makes me want to go and read the Boom Studios Power Rangers stuff. I can't believe how good this is. It's really good. If you're not reading Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, you should. First issue is amazing. Second issue is pretty good. Third issue is really good. It's I don't know if the first crossover was this good, but the second one is amazing so far. 3 issues and it's really good. Yeah, rip Jason David Frank. What are your thoughts on the X-Line after Hickman? I think Garbage Slug tastes better. I have not read anything other than Wolverine in the X-Line in forever. I haven't. House of X and Powers of 10 was really amazing, and then it just went like that afterwards. X-Men editorial has been doing their best to destroy everything with that. The creators they keep putting on there are bad. I keep picking up Wolverine just because I want Wolverine to always have a solo book. So I support Wolverine, even though Wolverine hasn't been very good lately either. I'm hoping maybe we'll get like a new writer or something on there. Maybe. The art currently is not good. I don't really like the artists they have on there either. But I'm also a few issues behind Wolverine. Maybe it's gotten better. I haven't read like the first... I think issue 26 was the last issue I read. But yeah, the X-Line currently... I haven't bothered checking it out because it does not look good. Because the last time I did, it was not good. But sorry, I'm behind on some chat messages. Let me see. Let's see. Think DCeased will continue once his final arc ends. Taylor said this is the last book. I guess if Taylor said the last book, I doubt they'll do it without him. I get like maybe if he wants to come back to it, but otherwise I doubt they'll do DCeased without Tom Taylor, to be honest. Funny part is you can make a good book with a political message. It's just they're so bad at it because it's really just my side good. Yep. Completely agree. There's so many good comics that have political messages, but they're really bad at telling a good story alongside it. And they're really bad at trying to actually make a story. It's so much just like, here's the message. Like, hey, where's the story? It's like, oh, we have to write a story? What? All the TMNT ancillary books are better than the main title. Good to know. The last Ronin spinoff was good. I read the first issue of that. What's your thoughts on Invincible, the comics or the show? The comics are amazing. I read all 3 of the compendiums. They're so good. Legitimately one of my favorite indie books ever. Like one of my favorite creator-owned books I've ever read. It is so good. The show was pretty good. There were some changes I thought were stupid, but I liked the show. Season 1 was good. I'm excited for Season 2. James Gunn might use Nightwing in the DCU. How do you think they should do it? I think they should stay away from Tom Taylor's Nightwing as far as they possibly can. But I'm excited. I hope they do something good. It'll be interesting because, you know, we got to see how they do Batman first and how that all goes down. I think it would be cool if Nightwing just showed up in Batman, though. I think if, like, he just shows up for, like, a little bit, like, you don't really need an explanation or anything. You just be like, hey, Nightwing helped Batman out for 10 minutes and that's it. Like, that would be cool. And then we get our own, like, Nightwing movie. Shattered Grid was a great event. Even Jet Rip joining on it was amazing. Yeah, I heard the Shattered Grid stuff was good. Kyle Higgins is one of my favorite writers. Wrote a bunch of the Power Ranger stuff, so I wanna read his stuff too. What are some of your favorite Flash stories? Of course, Rebirth is what got me into Flash. So not 2016 Rebirth, but the original Flash Rebirth with Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. So that's definitely one of my favorites. I really like the one where he gets trapped in like the mirror world, Wally, where Wally gets, I can't remember the name of it. Was it Iron Heights? I can't remember what it's called. But the arc where Wally gets trapped in the mirror world with Captain Cold and Mirror Master, and like they have to help each other get out and stuff, and like he runs into like all Mirror Bear and Barry, and Mirror Barry's like, my Wally would never blah blah. And, like, I love that arc. That's a really good one. What do you think of the Ronin TNT? Are you excited for the new Turtles for the Ronin comics? I loved it. If you watched my favorite comics of 2022 videos, and you'd see that TMNT Last Ronin was my favorite like story arc of that year. I loved Last Ronin. Last Ronin really reignited my passion for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I've always been a casual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. I watched like a lot of the shows growing up. I saw all the movies, so I've always liked them, but I never like got really into the TMNT like comics or lore or anything. But then I read Last Ronin because I was at a comic shop and I saw it and I just bought it because I heard it was good and it was like a nice looking hardcover, and I read it and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I like the first spin-off issue. Do you have a Nightwing recommendation other than Black Mirror? I consider that a Nightwing book. Yeah. So DC actually reprinted Chuck Dixon's entire run. It's 8 volumes. I have all of them, and you can get them pretty easily. I don't think they've had any trouble like with printing them. So I'd recommend that. Start with volume 1 of Chuck Dixon's run and just read that. It's a lot of comics for you. It's really good. They also did a collection of Peter Tomasi's Nightwing run, which is really good as well. You can check that out. Kyle Higgins' New 52 run is actually pretty solid and better than most stuff in the New 52, other than all the tie-ins they make him do with all the Bat books. And Sam Humphrey's like little like 6 or 7 issue arc in later on in Nightwing was actually pretty good too. I think that part of Rebirth. Don't remember. It's been so long. Do you think John is beyond saving? Because they could save John. I don't think he's beyond saving, but it's going to take a hell of an effort to do it, and I don't think DC wants to do it right now. Have you read Radiant Black? Yes, I have. I've read the first arc. It was really good. Like I said, I really like pretty much everything Kyle Higgins does. Also, yeah, that's another Nightwing recommendation is Kyle Higgins' Nightwing New Order. It's really good. Did you watch The Bad Batch? No, I don't care about The Bad Batch. I'm mad because, as you can see, I'm a big Republic Commando fan. Everything's mirrored, so I'm a dumbass, so I can't figure out how to point. There we go. I'm a big Republic Commando fan, as you can see back there. Delta Squad is who that show should have been about. Instead, they did it about Filoni's creations, because Filoni just loves sucking himself off. Yeah, Dixon's Nightwing is lit. It's great. There's a huge movement against legacy characters just because there's a lot of bad ones. Well, that shows how they could. There's a lot of great legacy characters. Just for some reason, a lot of. Well, Dan DiDio was like the main dude that hated legacy characters, and then there are other people like him. So, but then there are people like Jeff Johns who loves legacy characters. Have you watched the Rise of TNT movie on Netflix? It's pretty decent, especially start. Rise of TNT movie. What is that? Oh, is that the new show? I have not watched that. No, I heard the show's not very good. Oh, they did a movie off of it. I don't know. I have not checked it out. I remember the last TMNT show I watched was the like the CG one on Nickelodeon, which I didn't care for the animation style, the art style, but it was actually a really good show. I remember watching it. I was like, this is actually way better than I thought it would be. The animation style wasn't my favorite. It was during that time when like a lot of shows were doing like we're gonna go full CG, but I really liked the show was actually written really well. Volume 2 of Dixon's Run is super expensive. Oof, that sucks. I'm glad I got them all before they went expensive. Are you excited for Mandalorian Season 3? Kind of, because Mandalorian has been just such a mixed bag for me. Some of it's really good, and some of the best Star Wars stuff we've gotten in years, and then some of it's really bad, and Filoni just throwing in all of his characters that he's created. Hey, remember these people from Mandalore that should have aged a lot by now? Well, now they look the same, and they're here just because I wrote them before, so I want them back. Hey, Ahsoka's back again for the 5 billionth time. I created time travel to save her. What's your thoughts on the popularity of Miles Morales versus every other newly made creator characters that don't catch on like Riri and Miss Marvel? Well, Miles only caught on because they kept going. Miles sucked at first. Like, you had the typical people that are like, you don't like Miles because you're racist. And then you had people with brains that were like, he's literally just Black Peter Parker and his stories aren't interesting. No one cares about him. And then Spider-Verse came out. And you had people that actually made Miles his own character, and he wasn't just Black Peter Parker, and he was actually interesting. And that's when he actually took off. Because prior to then, it was like a normal thing. It was like, you had a new #1 with a Black Spider-Man, so of course, people picked it up, a lot of people read it, and then his sales went like that. Because then it wore off, and it was like, oh, this actually isn't good. Why are we reading this? And, yeah. And he was like that for a while. People were like, yeah, we don't really care about Miles. And then Spider-Verse came out, and that's when he took off, because you actually had people that actually knew what they were doing. What a guy, yeah. The show's not good, but the movie's good? Oh, okay. Well, I don't have Netflix, but maybe I'll check it out. Are you going to do a podcast episode video review of Edge Runners? Maybe. I really liked Edge Runners. Edge Runners was really good. I probably won't do a video review of it, but we might do a podcast on it eventually. Edge Runners are really good. I'm so sick of Ahsoka. She's so frustrating, and they keep bringing her back for no reason. I completely agree. I hate Ahsoka. A lot of people love her. I'm very much in the minority there. I hate Ahsoka. I find her very annoying. Clone Wars, we could have gotten like 7 seasons of more Obi-Wan and Anakin content and stuff focusing on the clones and cool stuff with the clones. Instead, it got sliced in half because half the show had to be about Ahsoka. And then they kept bringing her back. They brought her back in Rebels. She stands toe-to-toe with Vader because she's just as good. And then she dies. But then they invent time travel to bring her back that can only be used once. And then she's back in Mandalorian. And they just keep bringing her back. And it's like, I don't care about Ahsoka. She sucks. How's it going, Dave S. Patrick? I've been reading a lot of Golden Age Superman comics. They're really good. Golden Age Batman books are out of print, though. I'm sad about that. Yeah, Golden Age Superman books are pretty good. It is funny because Superman was a bit more harsh back then, though. Like, the way he treated criminals and stuff. But yeah, it's good. I have the first volume. Like, I have the first omnibus, which is, like, this big, of Golden Age Superman stories. And they're pretty solid. Pretty fun. I have not seen Miles' new costume. Unless you're talking about, like, his costume in the new movie. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. Are you hyped for the Spider-Verse sequel? Not really. I'm gonna go see it. I hope it's good. I like the first one, but I'm just not really that hyped. I thought the first one was good, but I thought it was really overrated. I thought just because it was a pretty movie, that's why people, like, it was a pretty movie. It was about Black Spider-Man. And it was good, so people, instead of just being like, yeah, it's a good movie, they were like, it's the best thing ever of all time. Because that just happens a lot of time. So I think that's why people loved it so much. It was good, but I think it's overrated. Andor was so good. Thoughts on Phase 4 and Phase 5? Also, what do you think the MCU needs to refresh yourself? Also, what project do you want to see from DC? Phase 4 and Phase 5 sucked. Well, Phase 5 is just beginning, right? Let me see what was a part of Phase 4, and I can go over it real fast. Let me just bring it up. Or are we still in? Wait, is Quantumanium Phase 4? What? I'm seeing a thing that's showing Quantumanium as far as Phase 4. There's no way, right? Well, okay. Is it? Whoops. Is this correct? Is this Phase 4? I think this is, like, actually accurate, right? Except Ant-Man got pushed back, so we'll not include Ant-Man and Blade because that's like Phase 5, I'm pretty sure, right? And Guardians, obviously. So this is like kind of right with a lot of bad stuff. All right, let's just go over this. Falcon and Winter Soldier sucked. It was horrible. The worst Disney Plus show. I hated it. Did not watch What If. Can't say anything about it. Black Widow was not good. A lot of stupid stuff. What they did with Taskmaster was extremely done. Eternals was okay. I didn't hate it as much as most people, but I didn't think it was good either. Spider-Man No Way Home, I loved. I thought it was actually really good. I know some people be like, it's not a movie. It's just a cameo fest for, like, fan service. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, shut up. It was a good movie. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought what they did with Peter's character was actually handled really well. I thought they handled the other Spider-Man coming in really well and how they were able to mentor that Peter. The villain was actually great with Green Goblin being the villain. I thought it was really good. I really liked No Way Home. Thor Love and Thunder sucked balls. Love and Thunder. That was not good. Moon Knight was very disappointing. It's like none of the people that wrote that had read a Moon Knight comic before. It's like they read a little bit of Jeff Lemire's run. They're like, oh, he has multiple personalities and, like, psych ward stuff. We got it. And it's like, you didn't get anything else about his character. He has this suit that just grows on him and has superpowers. That's not Moon Knight. What? WandaVision was actually good. I did not like the finale, though. I thought the season finale was lackluster, series finale. But it's probably the most solid of the Disney plus Marvel stuff, to be honest. Loki was like this for me. Some episodes was like, oh, that's really good. Other episodes, that's bad. That sucks. Loki was I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I have a Pakistani friend, though, that was talking about how a lot of stuff with the Pakistani family was super inaccurate and bad. Like, he was talking about how, like, at first he was digging it, and then some stuff happened, he's like, nope, that's not how that works. So it's funny, because I saw, like, white people on Twitter being like, yes, the representation is so amazing. But then I have an actual Pakistani friend that was like, well, what they're doing is so dumb. So, yeah. Shang-Chi I thought had some cool action, and the villain was one of the better MCU villains, but the rest of it was just standard regular Marvel stuff. Hawkeye was fine. Hawkeye was like a 6 out of 10. I hated Echo. I thought Echo was super annoying, and I hate that she's getting her own show. What they did was to Fisk with him getting defeated by like fireworks was dumb. But we'll see how it goes from there. Doctor Strange was just like a standard Marvel movie. It had some cool moments, had some Sam Raimi-ness that I liked, but overall it was just, it's whatever. It's a movie that exists. Wakanda Forever sucked. Maybe the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen. It's up there. I know a lot of people like Wakanda Forever. I thought it was really bad. They literally, Black Panther's corpse gets sucked into a spaceship. Ugh. She-Hulk, I watched the final episode and that was it because I was on a trip with a friend that had been watching it the whole time. Actually, the same Pakistani friend I was talking about earlier. And he had been watching She-Hulk the whole time, and the final episode came out while we were on that trip. And so we just all, like, last night of the trip decided to watch it, and it was horrible. I only watched the last episode. It was horrible. So that's my thoughts on Phase 4. I just did a podcast on Ant-Man and the Wasp again. At Quantumania, if you want to watch it. We talked about it for about an hour. If you want to listen to that, it's here. Or on Podbean, or on Apple. You can listen to it. I got all the timestamps, too, so you don't have to worry about spoilers. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on that. How do you feel about Ultimate Marvel Universe returning? I think it's stupid. Marvel's grasping at straws, to be honest. The only thing that really has me hyped for Spider-Verse 2 is Spectacular Spider-Man, which I doubt he'll actually do anything other than show up in like the background. But hey, I have heard the news about the new Lord of the Rings movies, and I don't really have any thoughts on it, to be honest. I barely watched Phase 4. It was awful. She-Hulk made me sad as a big She-Hulk fan. Also, Taskmaster and Namor pissed me off. Oh, yeah, dude. What they did with Taskmaster and Namor was so dumb. So dumb. They can put, like, Taskmaster's not even Taskmaster. And Namor... Oh, man, it's so stupid. Namor. I have to do an upgrade MCU tier list. True. What do you think the MCU needs to do to rebound? Well, first they need to establish characters that people like, because that was the thing. Like you had. I think what they really need to do, starting off, if I'm like really like thinking what we have now, what we need to do, I think you really need to get Thor in a good place. I think Thor is a key because you have Hemsworth who likes playing Thor. You need to get someone that's not Taika Waititi to like team up with him and make like really. I think I would make Thor like the centerpiece right now, because as much as I'd love to make a Tom Holland Spider-Man, the stuff with Sony and Marvel, you never know when that's just gonna like disappear. So I would make it Chris Hemsworth Thor, because Cap is gone, Iron Man's gone. So what do you got next? You got Thor. I would try to establish something really good with Thor and actually like follow the comics and make something cool with Thor instead of just be a big dumb joke, because there's like a lot of cool stuff you could do with Thor. He's a very interesting character. Try to go back to sort of that Infinity War Thor that we had and try to have him like be the leader of this new Avengers and really like get them together. What they did with Kang and Ant-Man, I won't spoil. No spoilers, you don't gotta worry about that, but it was dumb, so that's gonna be hard to set up Ant-Man as Kang as a villain. And it's just, man, I'm not excited to see this new Avengers team fight Kang. I'm just not. But, yeah. But I feel like you really need, like, filmmakers that are passionate and get them to do, like, their own thing instead of just following the Kevin Feige formula and rewriting things constantly and doing CG last minute. I think that needs to go to the wayside, which James Gunn has really exposed, which is funny. What DC projects are you excited for? Any ones you wish for? I'm excited for Superman. I hope that's good. What did we get for the... Let me pull that up. What did we get? Just so I can pull all that up. Alright, Gods and Monsters. Here we go. Alright. I hope Shazam's good. That was already announced, though. Flash is already on Blue Beetle. I'm not going to talk about these because these were already announced. All right. I don't care about Joker 2. I don't care about Constantine. Creature Commandos, I hope is good. Waller is the dumbest thing of all time. Don't care about that. Superman Legacy, I'm excited for. The Batman Part 2, I'm excited for, but that, you know, we already knew that was happening. Lanterns should be an animated show because making a Green Lantern show live action is really dumb because you're going to be so withheld by the budget. Should have been an animated show. Also, should not just be taking place on Earth. That's really stupid. It's the Green Lanterns. Stop doing everything on Earth. Paradise Lost is kind of like, who is this for? You're doing the Amazons without Wonder Woman. We'll see. Maybe it could be interesting. Don't care about the Authority. Batman the Brave and the Bold could be good. Depends. I don't know how they're going to balance all that with the Bat family. With Damian, man, that's going to be interesting. Because all the Bat family's already been, you know, around since we're at Damian now. Booster Gold could actually be really good. I think he's a great character to send around in an HBO Max series. Don't care about Supergirl because it's all about the... first off, I don't care about Supergirl in general. I think she's a whatever character. And then it's based on a Tom King comic, so that really makes me not care about it. Swamp Thing could be really cool. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What's your overall verdict of The Last of Us so far? Again, I've been talking about it on my podcast every week, so shout Nerd Talk Podcast if you want to hear me talk about The Last of Us. It's all over here. But I'll sum it up. It's pretty good so far. I think generally when they try to do something completely different than the games, they do it worse. That's what I'll say about that. But yeah, I've liked it so far, but there are some head-scratching decisions that they've made where it's like, why didn't you just do it like the games? Also, they really need to get into Joel's, like, how dangerous and brutal Joel is. They have not done a good job of that so far. Like, that, they really, man, the hospital better get wrecked. That's all I'm gonna say. Namor did support body positivity by not working out. True. That's why I said in the podcast, I was like, as much as I didn't like Namor, I thought it was really stupid. Shout out to the guy that played Namor, because if I was told I'm going to be in a huge Marvel movie and I'm going to be shirtless the entire time, I'm going to get jacked for that. But that guy said, no, I don't care. I'm just going to have the most mid bod of all time. I don't care. I was like, dude, that takes guts to do that. Literal guts. Yeah, Beta Ray Bill could definitely be cool. It's weird, though, because now Thor has a daughter after Love and Thunder, so that's the only thing also. Should make Thor like Kratos. Completely disagree on that. Oh, yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes King was done so well. New TMNT movie figures have been leaked. What are your thoughts on that? I have not seen them. It's like James kind of just picked All-Star Superman, was like, see, I like Superman. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Like, it really feels like All-Star Superman's the safest answer. How do you feel about Authority getting a movie? From what I'm hearing, the rumor is they're going to do Superman versus the Elite. They're going to do What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. They're going to build up to that, and they're going to use the Authority because that's what the Elite were in place of when they did it. They were supposed to be the Authority, but they just did the Elite. Like, they just created them. Joe Kelly just created the Elite instead, but they were stand-ins for the Authority. So now they're like, why don't we just do the Authority? But I think they should have just done the Elite. I don't think we need the Authority, but it's whatever. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of weird. Also, knowing James Gunn's tendency to take characters that people don't know about and completely change them from the comics, who knows if the Authority will even act like the Authority. Are you excited for the Penguin show? Kind of, actually. When it was first announced, I didn't care at all, but after seeing the Batman and hearing all about it, I actually am kind of hyped for it, to be honest. And that's a show that works as an HBO show, you know? Like, Lanterns doesn't, because you have, like, big, powerful Green Lanterns that fly around space, but instead they're going to be walking around and, like, not making very many constructs and very grounded, because it's like, we have a budget to withhold to. What are your thoughts on modern comics, and do you think that they're bad and dying? I mean, comics are kind of ish dying, I guess, in certain ways. But I don't think they're bad. I think there's a mix. I think it's like it's always been, where there's a mix. The difference is, like, back in the day, a lot of the times comics were just bad because you had untalented people on them. Now, you have those untalented people, but you have a lot of those untalented people that have an agenda and they're in higher up places, and you have a lot of like editors are worse than they've ever been. And there's a lot of disrespect to fans as well that's going on. But I think there's a lot of great comics going on right now. Like, there are a lot of really amazing comics. That's why I never subscribe to the whole, like, comics are horrible and everything sucks right now. We need to get back to, like, the 90s or something. It's like, there are a ton of good comics out right now. You just gotta look for them. I made a whole video, like, a year or two talking about how you can't follow characters anymore. You have to follow creators. You can't just be like, Superman's my favorite superhero, I'm going to read every Superman comic. Because then you get, well, Bendis is writing every Superman comic. Have fun with that. You have to be like, I like Jeff Johns, I will read what Jeff Johns writes. And that's like that sort of deal. That's how it goes. Like, it's better to follow creators than characters. Because as much as you think publishers would be smart and protect their great characters by putting talented people on them, they don't do that. Are the X-Men comics any good nowadays? No, I hear they're horrible. Last time I read them, they were horrible, so. The Amazing Spider-Man comics by Jeff Paul are fever dream. The Batman is my favorite comic movie of all time, no joke. That's good for you. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not my favorite, but I thought it was good. Bruh, it's harder than it looks to get that jack that fast. Not really when you have all the resources Marvel have. Just gonna say that. I would love a Green Arrow movie. Michael, I agree. Alright, Suicide Squad game not looking too good. Oh, it looks horrible. Have you read Wade's World's Finest? Been hearing good things, but I was tempted to get it. Check it out. Might get it just for Moira's art. I'm going to read it. I read the first issue when it first dropped, and it was just the most mid thing I'd ever read. The art was amazing by Dan Moira, but the story was like, this is an okay comic, and then I didn't pick up any other issues. But everyone's been talking about how it's amazing, and it's like the best comic at DC right now, and it's really been a revival for Mark Waid. So I'll probably pick up the trade and check it out, because the first issue I was like, this isn't bad, but it's not great, and then everyone just started talking about how it's so good. What's up, Vector Wolf? How's it going? Thoughts on Lazarus Planet? The first issue was actually really good, surprisingly, and of course we had oh man, what's his name? Gosh dang it, what's his name? Why am I blanking? Oh, why can't I think of his name? Ricardo Federici, that's what I was thinking of. He did the art on it. It looked he's so good. And him on Lazarus Planet was so good. I tweeted about how I'd wish like every comic was just him drawing characters looking cool in the rain, because that's what he did on Lazarus Planet. Charlie Hunnam would be a good Green Arrow. There's a lot of people that could be a good Green Arrow. Alright, and then we got two other comics, independent comics to talk about that I read today. Blood Tree #1, which is Peter Tomasi's new indie series from Image. It's under the Mad Ghost imprint too, which is Jeff Johns' imprint within Image. It's pretty good. It's a detective story. I like it. The only thing is the art doesn't fit the story to me. It's not like bad, but it's like a serious detective, like murder mystery thing going on right now. Sort of like if you've seen like Seven or something like that, to where like people are getting murdered and you have this detective that's trying to solve things, and like then this is the art. Like again, it's not bad. I just feel like it conflicts with the story. I feel like it does not fit it. Like that style, I feel like does not fit like the tone of the book or the story or anything. That's my only complaint with it. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's a solid first issue. I'm happy to read a Tomasi book again. But yeah, I just felt like I was like, this artist doesn't feel like he fits. Tomasi and Nightwing would be a nice change. I wish his Nightwing run from back in the day was really good. But I don't think Tomasi's writing anything for DC right now, is he? But yeah, so basically Blood Ties is about, or Blood Tree, is about this detective who works in New York City, and and there's like someone that is, stitching wings on the back of people and then dropping them hundreds of feet to their death. And it's like assisted suicide, like the people aren't fighting back or whatever. They're also like being drugged up on kratom and stuff. It's weird. Jock style would work great for this. And so this detective's trying to figure that stuff out. It's really good. He's got a family. He's got like a wife and kids. And I like the family dynamic in it, which Tomasi wrote Superman when he was, you know, a family man in Rebirth. So, of course, he's great at writing a family dynamic. It's really cool because there's a part in here where the detective had gone like on a date with his wife, and then he hears that someone's murdered, and he like drives to the scene and has to like go and do that. And she's like supportive of him. It's like, wow. That's so refreshing compared to like most like TV shows and movies and like comics and stuff. When that happens, the wife's always like, why does work always blah blah, but instead she's like, go get him, do your thing. It's like, oh yeah, that's how like real people would be, but instead they have to create drama, and the wife's always like, why do you do blah blah. So that was cool. It's refreshing to see. But yeah, Bloodstream #1 is a thumbs up for me. I like it. Just again, the art I don't think really fits it. And then we got Junkyard Joe. Is this number 6? Issue 5. Issue 5, yeah. 6 is the final issue, which we'll get next month, I think, unless it's been delayed. But 6 is the final issue. 5 is really good. If you haven't been reading Junkyard Joe, it's one of the best comics out right now. You should read Junkyard Joe. It's really, really good. If you haven't read Geiger, you should read Geiger. Geiger is the new is Jeff Johns' creator-owned book with Gary Frank, and it's fantastic. Gary Frank's pencils are so good. We're going to be getting a 2-part Geiger story that's like a prequel to the original Geiger, showing his early days as Geiger and explaining more things about him later this year. I can't wait for that from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. And Junkyard Joe, so I'll do a little summation or summary for Junkyard Joe if you don't know what it is. Junkyard Joe is this, he's this experiment in the military, this like android in the military that was sent into Vietnam to help with the Vietnam War, and a lot of stuff happened, but then he was decommissioned, and there's this guy, Mr. Davis, who served with him in Vietnam, and he's an old man now because it takes place in like the modern day, or actually I don't know, in modern day, maybe it's like 2016 or something, I can't remember, but either way, close enough to the modern day. And he's been writing like comic strips about Junkyard Joe, and it's just like fun little like Charlie Brown type comic strips of like Junkyard Joe, like silly things happening and stuff. And the Mr. Davis, the guy that created him, which I'm just now realizing, I think Davis is the name of the guy that did the Garfield comic strip, so I'm just realizing that now. But anyways, Mr. Davis here, he it's been so long, he believes that Junkyard Joe isn't even real, and he just imagined him to like cope with what happened in Vietnam and what he saw and all the horrors and everything, until Junkyard Joe shows up on his doorstep and just starts helping him. So he's trying to figure things out. There's also this new family that moved across the street, and they're going through a lot of things because there's this family where their dad moved them from like San Francisco to, I think they're in Ohio. I can't remember. I think they're in Ohio or Nebraska or something. One of those like random like flyover states or whatever. And so they're adjusting with, you know, their mom being dead, and their dead, and their dad moving them to this middle of nowhere place. And so then they get intertwined with Mr. Davis and Junkyard Joe. A lot of things happen. People are looking for Junkyard Joe because he escaped from the military. And we learned at the end of this issue, Junkyard Joe got shut down because he killed everyone he became in contact with. So he is now with 3 children, and also just gets to like the city that they're at. And so in issue 6, it's implied that Junkyard Joe might go on a rampage, and it's like, what's going to happen? Really good. Read Junkyard Joe. Oh yeah, and then also, I haven't read it yet, but I picked it up. I read the first chapter issue, the trade for Daredevil and Elektra, because I've read all of Zdarsky's Daredevil in trade, and I've been waiting for volume 1 of this to be available in trade, and it finally is available, so I just got it like the other day. I've only read the first issue of it. Pretty good, and Marco Cicchetto's art is so good. I'm happy to be reading more Daredevil again. I want to start reading Superman comics, but I'm not sure where to start. What would you recommend? There's a lot of good places you could start with, Thias. Superman Secret Origin is my favorite origin book for Superman, so if you're looking for an origin book, there you go. If you're looking for something that you can just like start one place, just read through, John Byrne's run is amazing. And then also like you can get all, they reprinted that recently in like new editions, so you can get that, and it has like stories from Marv Wolfman and stuff in there. That's really good. Jeff Johns had a fantastic run. You can read the early 2000 stuff from like Jeff Loeb and Joe Kelly. They did some really cool stuff. But yeah, I feel like the easiest thing is probably read Secret Origin for his origin, and then like start at volume 1 of John Byrne's run and like go through that. And then there's so many different cool Superman stories you can read. Yes, Jock is amazing. Why did DC let Bendis ruin Superman family and ruin John Kent for his Garbage Legion book? I don't know, because Bendis was well past his prime when his contract was up with Marvel and they gave him a ton of money to ruin Superman. I think it's just an incompetency, to be honest. Do you still follow continuity in Marvel and DCU, or do you just give up like me? I still follow like the continuity in DC, but not Marvel. Have you ever played Mass Effect? I played like 5 hours of Mass Effect 2 and that was it. I just didn't really get into it. Are you still hyped for the Blue Beetle movie? Not really. I hope it's good. The suit looks great, but I've never really been hyped for it. Are you tired of people thinking that comics is only for kids and people think that comics is a Donald Duck comedy? I think we're kind of past that for the most part now. There are still some people that are like, comics are only for kids, and people look at you a little weird sometimes if you say you read comics. But for the most part, because of the movies and stuff, we're a bit past it. And also manga has helped as well, because there's a lot of like adults that read manga. So yeah, we're a bit more past that now, thankfully. But yeah, there's still, it's kind of like 50-50 more now. Instead of like when I was growing up, it was very much like, this is for kids. I've kind of just stopped buying single issues and just trade paperbacks and omnibus. I don't blame you. I still like reading floppies, but yeah, reading and trade and omnibus is so much like a preferable reading experience because you get the whole arc. Like reading DCeased here, I really like the new issue of DCeased, but I had forgotten a lot of what had happened because I'm reading, you know, when it comes out month to month, and I have goldfish memory, so. Have you played Forspoken or Hogwarts Legacy? No, I didn't care about either of those games. I'm not a Harry Potter fan at all. The developers made the Mad Max game though, and I really like Mad Max, but I don't care about Harry Potter at all, so I didn't play it. And Forspoken looked horrible. And no, I have not played the new Dead Space game. Do you think that Marvel has destroyed Spider-Man and can't save him? Because for me, I am sad people are destroyed. No, they can still save him. They're just being stupid. I don't understand why they hate their most popular character. I do not understand that. Like, that's the thing. As much as DC's done some stupid stuff with Batman, almost at all times there's a good Batman comic being written, generally speaking. Whether it's like a mini-series or an ongoing or something. Like, you can... Like, they generally have a good Batman comic out. Freaking Marvel's, like, for some reason, goes completely against everything the fans want them to do with Spider-Man. I don't get it. Yeah, that's, like... Comic books are literally... I did a whole video about this, like, 5 years ago. Comic books... called Why Comics, when Bill Maher did a whole thing talking about how comic books are stupid things for kids. Comic books are literally just another medium of storytelling. That's it. It's just like movies, TV, radio, books. It's just another medium of storytelling. And there's stuff for all ages. Hot take, I love News 2 up to Doomsday Clock. I love Doomsday Clock, dude. Doomsday Clock's amazing. I have the... Got the Absolute Edition right here. Look how big that bad boy is. I love DC's Absolute Edition. That's one of the best things DC's done is their Absolute Editions. I love it. New 52 was just a hot mess. I think rebooting continuity was stupid, but there was some really cool stuff and some really bad stuff. Like, Scott Snyder's Batman run was really good. You had, for a little bit, Greg Pak's Action Comics run was good until they did the whole Superman Truth thing. But up until then, it was pretty good. You had Jeff Lemire's Green Arrow and Jeff Lemire's Animal Man that were really cool. Kyle Higgins' Nightwing was really good, other than constantly making him tie into Batman because Batman was so popular. There's a lot of stuff that's like cool in New 52, but the problem is getting rid of the history of DC was stupid, because that's something that, in my opinion, DC's done way better than Marvel. Is their history is much better, their legacy. And then they just like, let's just get rid of all of it. It's like, why? It's stupid. I think we were definitely past so the perception of comics as being for kids. My freshman English teacher had a whole unit where we read and watched the movie for 300 and we compared references. That's really cool. What games are you looking forward to? What games am I looking? Oh, the Fallen Order sequel. I'm looking, or other than that, I don't know if there's any games I'm looking forward to at the moment, but I'm looking forward to the Fallen Order sequel. I think that'll be really good. I really loved Fallen Order, and Respawn's a great developer. Can someone explain Forspoken's dialogue? Whedon happened. I think what Jeff Johns did with Watchmen in Doomsday Clock is amazing. Now, bringing them back for Flashpoint was stupid for his Flashpoint book. Did not like that. I like the Flashpoint book, but bringing back Watchmen characters for that was dumb. But what he did with Doomsday Clock was amazing. Superman's New 52 suit sucks. I agree. It's not the worst thing ever, but yeah, it's not very good. Darkseid War I liked a lot. Darkseid War was good and definitely the best of the Justice League New 52 stuff. New 52 Superman was a train wreck. Yes, it was. It was really dumb. And hearing George Perez talk about how much editorial mangled what he wanted to do with Superman pisses me off so much. And that's why he was only on it for the first arc and then left immediately because he was so mad. Yeah, after Endgame, yeah, it got I dropped off after Endgame. I stopped reading Batman after Endgame. Because I really loved the New 52 Batman stuff, and then Jim Gordon got like a bunny-eared mech Batman suit, and there was like a flower guy, and I was like, this isn't it for me. I heard Jeff Johns' Wally West is good. It's great. It's really good. I have the like the first two like epic collections or whatever you call them for his Wally run, and it's really, really good. I thought Forever Evil and the Amazon virus were good. Shame on Amazon virus didn't go further. Yeah, Amazon virus is actually pretty good. Yeah, that was when I was like first introduced to Jason Fabok, was Amazon virus. And yeah, Forever Evil was pretty fun. That was about last time was like David Finch did any like interiors that I can remember. David Finch has just been all cover since then. Have you read The Walking Deaf? Walking Dead, I read the first issue and that was it. I have not read The Walking Dead. I was tempted. They had like one of the compendiums at Emerald City Comic Con last year for cheap, and I was tempted to get it, but I didn't. Best Bendis book, probably his Daredevil. Hard to say though. I did play Skywalker Saga. I was very disappointed with Skywalker Saga. It sucked. I was hoping it'd be good, and then I was so disappointed with it. Yeah, last year was definitely a good year for Flash. Rogues was amazing, and Jeremy Adams taking over Flash. Last year was definitely a good year for Flash. That's the thing also. Whenever people like talk about Spider-Man or John Kent, and it's like, you can't restore these characters. You can. Wally West is proof. Dude, what Wally has gone through time and time again to be restored to being a great character is amazing. He is proof that, like, characters are never irredeemable. They had Spider-Man. They had Wally kill multiple people in Heroes in Crisis, and he wasn't mind controlled or anything. He just killed them. And also he got completely replaced in the New 52, and he got like everything he's been through. They got rid of his family and everything, and they're back. He's back. Finally read Rogues, so good. Yeah, dude, Rogues is amazing, and the art is so good. The art for Rogues is so good, and I love that's a magazine size. Rogues is like, dude, that final issue of Rogues is intense. My first intro comics was when Slade blew off Wally's kneecap and he came back. Kid Flash's dick was going to take a bullet to the face from Deathstroke. Yeah, that was during Jeff Johns' Titans run. Yeah, I agree with your opinions on Dark Crisis there, Turtle Power. It has some great moments, but overall it was bad. Like, there were some cool individual moments, like Superman saving John from Doomsday was cool and stuff. I didn't like the way they used Deathstroke in it at all, though. think they later retcon on and Savitar influenced Wally to become heroes. I know it got retcon. I don't remember what they did, but I'm talking about like at the time it was there's no mind control or anything. Wally just had an outburst and killed people. It took multiple people coming in to retcon all that. DC needs to retire Barry on, let Wally West fully take over. Completely disagree. Nope. I love Wally, but Barry's great and should not be retired. Nope, completely disagree with that. Who's your favorite comic book artist? Personally, I like Jim Lee's Superman and Batman drawings. Jim Lee's amazing, but my favorite's Gary Frank. Just Gary Frank's art's so good, so clean. Like the way he just every page he draws is like a masterpiece. Have you watched Young Justice? Pretty good. First 2 seasons are really good. When they came back on HBO Max, the show sucked. Even Tom Green regrets Heroes in Crisis. Did he say that? Because every time I've heard him talk about since then, he like sucks himself off about it and like blames the fans. Thoughts on modern day CW Flash? Haven't watched it, so can't say. I need to watch Stargirl though. But have you read Superman Up in the Sky by Tom King? That was really good. Yes, I have. That's the best Tom King comic I've read in a long time. It's actually pretty good. There are still some Tom King isms in there, but overall it's pretty good and way better than most of his other stuff. Who's your favorite superhero of all time? Superman. But yeah, Up in the Sky is a surprisingly good Tom King book, and the only good Tom King thing I've read in like, I don't know, since like the beginning of his Batman run probably. Because the beginning of his Batman run had some good stuff, and then it just went downhill fast. But yeah, I think Barry and Wally can coexist. Exactly, they should coexist. They can. It's been proven before. But I've been live for about an hour and a half. This was fun. Thank you to everyone who showed up. I'm going to be at Emerald City Comic Con next weekend. That'll be fun. Hopefully get some good comics, because that's my favorite part about going to conventions is getting cheap like trade paperbacks and stuff and getting issues I can't find. That's really fun. There's no really comic creators I care to meet though. That's like the first year that like there's not. I don't think I'm gonna get anything signed this year, unless there's someone that like I just see in Artist Alley that I didn't know was there. But there's no one really that I care to meet at Emerald City Comic Con this year, so I'm just gonna mainly be like shopping for comics and like other cool stuff, because that's where I got this 2 years ago. That's where I got this this right here, this Star Wars Republic Commando poster was from Emerald City Comic Con, which is cool because you never see like Star Wars Republic Commando merch anywhere, so it was cool seeing an artist do that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who showed up. I appreciate it. My podcast Nerd Talk I do every week. If you want to check that out, it's on Podbean, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes or Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, it's on Amazon Podcasts. Check that out. I do that consistently. I know I don't upload very consistently, but I have been uploading the podcast very consistently. So check that out if you want to. Thank you to everyone who showed up, and I will see you guys later.